Okay, hi everyone. So I'm going to try and talk really fast because I have so much information I want to share with you. So as promised, I'm going to talk about the difference between raw honey, processed honey, and organic honey. What is the difference? Well, I tell you, until I did some research over the last 4 years, I had no clue what the difference was. So easy to, figure it out here. I'm also going to share with you how to store your honey. So honey has a very very low water content. Okay, it's only about 20% water moisture and 80% sugar. And the other special properties in honey, such as its acidic nature and the antimicrobial enzymes produced by the bees, gives it the long life. Honey was recorded and found back in like 5500 BC. It's been found in ancient Egyptian tombs, so it has a long life. I don't know if I'd try that honey though, but anyways. So, okay, pop-up biology lesson. Stick with me. So, the high sugar content in honey creates a high osmotic pressure, allowing the water to flow out of the cells of the microbes, which stops their growth and production. Okay, so the other thing is honey is pretty dense, right? And so therefore oxygen cannot easily dissolve into it, and this also stops and prevents the microbes from growing and reproducing. Okay, also spores of the neurotoxin C. botulinum can be found sometimes in like 5 to 15% of honey samples, so very small amounts. This does not hurt us adults because we're tough and we've developed, gut microbes to handle stuff like that. But this is the reason why infants or children 1 year and younger should not be fed honey, okay? Because they could develop infant botulism. So we don't feed honey to children that young. Okay, so raw honey. Raw honey is not the same as organic, okay? Raw honey is honey in its most truest natural form. So straight from the hives, we showed you in the video the other day when we were extracting. So it came from the thing I showed that came from the hive, and we spun it out. It got strained through a steel sieve strainer, and then I bottled it. That's raw honey, okay? We did not heat it or anything like that. Your commercial companies will go through and they'll heat and filter. So they'll pasteurize the honey. So this is a process that kills yeast found in honey and extends the shelf life. But this filtration will further remove the beneficial nutrients like pollen, enzymes, antioxidants. This is the stuff why we want to eat honey, right? Because it's so good for us. So I just wanted to tell you that bee pollen is extremely nutritious, and it contains over 250 different substances, including vitamins, amino acids, and essential fatty acids, micronutrients, and antioxidants. So, then another health benefit, raw honey has approximately 22 amino acids, 31 different minerals, and a wide range of vitamins and enzymes. So they are only found in trace amounts, but hey, they're there in the raw form. And then they get lost in the processed form. Also, commercial processing sometimes adds sugar or maybe high fructose syrup to, because honey is expensive to make, so they try to cheapen the costs. So beware of that sometimes. So bees visit 2 million flowers to produce 1 pound of honey, and they will visit 50 to 150 flowers on a foraging flight. So this is the reason why honey contains nearly 30 types of bioactive plant compounds called polyphenols, which act as antioxidants. Okay, I want to tell you, and I'm going to have to read this. The USDA organic standards, okay, through the National Organic Program, you can go to the USDA website and look this up. But there's standards for livestock, there's standards for plants in growing, to get them certified organic. Honeybees are considered livestock, okay? Now, I just want to read to you some of the organic standards for livestock. So, the standards, anybody growing livestock that wants to sell it as organic, they must feed that livestock 100% organic feed, okay? So, here's the problem. The USDA organic regulations do not have anything separate or special for honey or honeybees. Honey production and handling standards must also comply with the labeling requirements for organic products. Now, with livestock, we can control what we're feeding them. We can control them because they're in a barn, they're in a facility, they're in a pasture that's been raised and growing organic alfalfa or whatever. We can't control where our honeybees fly, okay? And honeybees can forage up to 3 miles from the apiary, on average 2 miles. In Gratiot County, Mott County, Central Michigan, or probably the whole state, I do not believe there's any place that you can go 2 miles and know that everything growing in that area is being grown organically. So this is why there really is very few organic honeys in the United States, let alone in Michigan. One of the biggest producers used to be in Hawaii, and now they're struggling. So it's not just your agriculture or your farmers. You got to remember we have a lot of golf courses around here, and well, they want to have pretty greens and pretty fairways. So we can't control where the bees are foraging. So I'm going to do a video on the things that I learned about the organic label, in particular to organic honey. And I might even take a trip to Meyer or someplace and show you some of the labels and explain some things. Okay, so on to how to store my honey. So just store it in the cupboard, okay? Keep your house at approximately 70 degrees-ish, Don't store it in direct sunlight. Do not put it in the refrigerator, okay? Do not put it in the refrigerator. The only thing that will really do, it'll just create it to crystallize or harden faster. And I'm going to do a video in crystallizing. So your honey will look like this, a nice little cream. It's still delicious like this. It's spreadable, but it's not that pretty golden color. So my next video, I will show you how to take a jar like that and get it back to beautiful liquid gold. So honey will crystallize. If you want to keep your lid tight, okay, whatever you're going to store it in, because if you don't keep the lid on it or anything like that, it allows moisture to fluctuate. It allows any contaminants to get into it. And, your honey could go bad if it's not stored properly as far as handling, contaminating. Maybe you were buttering toast or something and you decide to stick that same knife or spoon into your honey jar. I mean, something could get contaminated that way. So having kind of a creamy crystallized honey, it is a thing. I'm sure some of you have had honey butter or whatever they want to call it, creamed honey. And there is a process where they will use controlled crystallization to produce the creamy honey. It's called the DYCE method, D-Y-C-E method. It's time consuming and a lot of stirring and a lot of work, and I'm not thinking I'm interested in doing that because who has time, right? So I think hopefully I answered some of your questions. Pretty much there's not organic honey produced in the United States. No, I don't think there's any in Michigan. It's nearly impossible. Mostly what you're seeing on the shelf has been imported from Uruguay, however you say that, Mexico, Brazil. And then their standards have to match up with USDA standards, but I'll explain that later. So I hope you're enjoying your honey. Please message me if there's any other information you'd like to learn. I'm kind of starting to get into this and enjoy sharing what I've been learning about the bees. So have a great day. Talk to you soon. Bye.